Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Fortuna.
No.
Thank you. Dr. Martinez-Soler.
Yes.
Thank you. And yes, for me, that is a 6-1 pass. We have the 2021 California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly election. Ms. Soriano, are there any public comments?
Madam Board President Albiani, there are no public comments on this item.
Okay. CSBA received 4 nominations for delegates to the subregion 6B Delegate Assembly election. We are able to vote for all 4. The names are Kelly from Center Joint USD, incumbent Lisa Kaplan from Natomas USD, Juno Rhodes from Sacramento City USD, and incumbent Ed Short from Folsom Cordova USD. I would like to call for a motion to vote for the listed delegates to the CSBA Delegate Assembly.
So move.
I'll second.
Moved by Dr. Martinez-Soler, seconded by Ms. Charis Espinoza. Did anybody want to say anything? Who
I have a
moved it?
question.
Dr. Martinez-Soler moved it.
I just had a comment. I worked with a few of
Yes,
the neighboring regions with some of the incumbents in the region area and the districts, and can attest to some of the work that they've been doing within their districts. It's nice having colleagues and other regions close to us that we can share out with what we're doing with Outgrove and hearing from the other districts surrounding us. So that's why I made the motion to put forth the names that were suggested.
Thank you. Mr. Yang?
Well, I was just gonna ask a question to clarify this process because I am new.
Yeah.
So so are these candidates the one? How do we come about selecting their names? I just want to know.
They were nominated. Ms.
By
Charis
who?
Espinoza would probably be a better person. She's done this.
I'll try. So this is actually a CSBA process, the whole nomination and slate. So we can vote or not vote on them, but traditionally we do. And sometimes we've had EGUSD board members on that slate, and sometimes we do not. But as a bigger district, we have representation. I think we have 2 representatives on the regional council anyway, so we don't necessarily need to go for the additional elected slots.
Right, but these nominate who nominate them to be the candidates?
I think any school board member can make those nominations.
Well, my point is, how do we get these 4 names on the agenda? I just want to know who
On the agenda, CSBA communicates that to us. I want to say through the board secretary.
Okay, so they pick them. Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All right, I'm going to go ahead with the roll call.
Oh, yes, me. Oh. I was very impressed on all of them, and especially Miss Lisa Kaplan, because she brought to my attention or an issue that not only am I concerned about and that issue was the fact that the requested requirement pre-funding is going to bankrupt many school districts. That has always been a concern of retirement systems for school districts throughout California. And she brought this out in her, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing governing boards, and how can CSBA help address them? If you read her comments on all these 3 items, she's very articulate and described a lot of issues. I think she was number 1 choice for me. So I just want to bring that attention to everybody in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss, then we'll go ahead with the vote. Mr. Yang?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Jamerson?
Yes.
Ms. Charis Espinoza?
Yes.
Mr. Fortuna?
Yes.
Dr. Martinez Solir,
Yes.
Mr. Perez.
Yes to all four candidates.
Yeah, we're doing them as a package. Thank you.
I know.
And myself as well. So that's a 6-0. I'd like to make a motion to extend our meeting for 15 minutes, 20 minutes,
You mean 7-0?
7-0. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
It is almost midnight.
Yes, it is.
Got to help keep me straight here. All right. I need a motion to add 20 minutes.
I move we add another 20 minutes.
Thank you. That'll put us, we'll say at 12:20. Okay, Mr. Fortuna? Okay. May I have a second, please?
Yes.
I'll second it myself. Roll call vote. Mr. Yang?
Aye.
Ms. Jamerson?
Aye.
Ms. Charis Espinoza? Couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Sorry, aye.
Thank you. Mr. Fortuna?
Aye.
Dr. Martinez Solir?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Yes, aye.
Thank you, and myself, that's 7-0. All right, are there any board members who wish to submit reports on organizational or committee meetings relative to the district and its operation? No?
I haven't had any.
Okay, I don't think there has been. That's great. And then other items from the floor. Mr.
Well,
Fortuna?
I was gonna make a quick comment.
Oh,
Is this where we could say anything we like?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll just keep it short. I just want to share with the board that, I met with Chris and his leadership group about equity and college readiness and career training, so forth. I was very impressed and very optimistic about the work that we have done. And, I want to bring more awareness to our students and our parents that there are great academy and programs out there for our kids to take advantage of it. And I'm just very excited, and I just want to share with the public and my colleagues. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Yang. Mr. Fortuna?
Thank you. I have a number of things I would like to address tonight. In deference to our time, I will put two of them on hold. One, the governance handbook, and two, a communication that I received. First of all,
You muted.
where did I leave off?
First of all,
First of all, okay. First of all, I would like to thank publicly Alvin Chung, President and CEO of California North State University, Dr. Gary Chu, board member, and the other board members for so graciously offering to vaccinate all each USD employees. That was a wonderful offer they made, and certainly it takes an obstacle off our table. Now, for quite a while, the words transparency, inclusion, and accountability have been used and abused in many venues. To me, the words mean what should be paramount in all that we do, and it raises a question for me. And here's the question that each of us should look at. Should the public have a right to see written answers to board questions asked during presentations, asked outside of board meetings, and then reported to all board members, and the contents of reports that are provided? And I'm going to give some examples. On January 12th, we had a presentation on safety security, and we asked about the diversity within its staff. And what we got back was data that showed that the employees were not reflective of EGUSD student population, and there was no plan with respect to how that would be addressed. Questions were asked about the playing of instruments and singing and when they were going to be allowed in our district, and about the purchasing of PPEs for band equipment. And what we learned is the need for PPEs is being discussed. This is February. Why not just go ahead and purchase them so that we'll be in a place to be able to utilize them? We moved forward with buying headsets that haven't been delivered yet and probably won't be used after we're in a full return mode. We also asked about the fact that restrictions on sports have been loosened, but not for our VAPA students. Are they not as important? And we also received a response on student outcome data for attendance, discipline, social emotional learning, per questions asked at the February 2nd board meeting. And what did we learn? We learned that attendance continues to be lower for Black kids. Chronic absenteeism has lowered for all groups except Black and homeless. Suspension rates for Black kids were the highest, along with homeless. With respect to homeless, a good question to ask yourself is, where do homeless kids go when they're suspended? What do they learn? In the social emotional area, again, not a surprise, the lowest group, Black kids. At last Friday's board communication, we received a communication on another question that had been asked, and that was with respect to grade point average, credit accumulation, and interim assessment. And what did we learn? The percentage of failing grades has increased for all students. And the highest percentage were given to Black, Native American, and socioeconomically disadvantaged students. To me, this data is really disturbing because it centers on the groups that we consistently share concerns about. Sites are working hard to address the issues. I know that. And when they exhaust their interventions, given their limited resources, then what? It is clear in my mind that the board needs to take a serious look at the instructional program, the factors that influence the numbers, and address those factors for the students that are consistently lagging. If not, then the sad numbers will continue to be recorded and discussed until we receive the next report. We need to have time to sit and ask the hard questions and talk with the people that are making a difference, because it's the only way we're going to change the dismal facts. As a board, if we're going to make significant impact then we need to be ready to reallocate resources. Black kids, brown kids, homeless kids, foster kids, Native American kids are always at the bottom of the barrel. Yes, we have our equity work going. Yes, we're trying to help people approach their teaching in ways that are more sensitive. But these issues have been around for a very, very long time. And I do believe that the time has come for Elk Grove Unified to step up and say, we've heard, we believe, and we're ready to change. Otherwise, the sadness that we see is going to continue next year and the following year and the following year. I will hold my other issues for when we have more time. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments tonight?
I'm tired, but I do. I've been saying this since 2012, trying to keep the school district accountable to the LCFF objectives, which are what Commissioner Forcino been talking about. You know, I went as far as to talk to the legislator, the Board of Education, to deal with the issue that Prop 30 monies shall not be used for teacher and staff salaries. It took us 5 years, I don't know how long, to get this turned around. Now, what most of the monies does go to LCFF targeted population, which Mr. Forcina is saying. Yes, we need to keep our LCFF, well, it's a new name for that now, but we need to keep those outcomes accountable by a district, but also by school sites. You know, so that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Jamerson?
I just wanted to thank the folks that put all the work into providing the data. I know that was a lot of work and it came in 2 separate reports. I think that the data just confirmed our assumptions. We knew that, you know, the impact of COVID was just going to exacerbate our, you know, achievement gaps, and that the groups that had already been struggling continue to struggle even further. So I appreciated receiving the data, but I do agree with Mr. Forcina that we do need to discuss what strategies are working and how do we build upon those, what strategies aren't working, how do we reallocate to be able to address those. So I think that the first step was in being able to look at the data, and then the next step is to talk about what's next, how do we address it.
Thank you. Mr. Forcina?
One last thing. At the 2 previous board meetings, I made a motion about the formation of an inclusive committee to address reopening July 1st, so that we'd be able to begin to work to mitigate any of the obstacles. The first time I brought it up, I didn't get a second. The second time I brought it up, I got a second and got 3 votes. I believe in the value of having such a committee. Inclusive, meaning all stakeholders.
I think we need, I don't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't think there's any resistance or any plan not to have one. I think the definition of your inclusive and and other people's inclusive and the understanding of that is a discussion that we need to have some more. So when we bring something, we have a full understanding of what we're doing.
Yeah, my concern is the clock's ticking.
Okay. March 10th.
Great.
I will look into it. I understand. I hear it. Okay. All right.
I'd like to also suggest that we put this on the agenda within a month or two. And Ms. Jameson is very well versed in this issue also. And Mr. Yang says we're doing a good job, but I don't think we are doing a very good job dealing with the college pipeline to this. Well, we are, because I did see some good results of Sac State students, right?
Have you meet with them? Have you meet with the staff?
Yes.
Mr. Press? Huh?
No, I look at statistics. I look at outcome data sets. And so what I would like to see talked about very shortly is Hispanic serving institutes for high schools, and also Asian Hispanic serving institutes for designations for at high schools. And that's developing a pipeline and with the UC systems, with the Sac State or state university systems, and get this designations and federal resources to get this college pipeline. And I backtracked that statement. I just found out, or yesterday, that we got about 100. Hold on here. Who was that? Where did I get that data? But we had a lot of students from our colleges, our high schools going to Sac State. That's remarkable. More so than the UCs, but I think we need to get more to the UCs. I think they're eligible, but they don't have the knowledge or the resources.
Hey,
Can I say something?
of
Yes.
course.
I wanted to add on to Mr. Facina comment. I completely forgot, but thank you for bringing up in terms of recognizing the North State University's effort of providing COVID-19 vaccine to our staff and our our really big unified school district staff. Let me ask you this, Beth and Chris and the whole board. Can we draft like a official thank you letter and then sign it and present it to them? Just being just to say thank you, officially. Can we do that? Because this is a big push that they did it out of kindness and out of, I think that they foreseen that if they do this, we could really help out, closing that gap of bringing the student back on school a lot quicker and sooner. And I thought that was a great move. I don't know all the detail in it, but then, I just thought of that, and I just want to know what are the,
We can certainly do that. I mean, we've been working with them a lot, and we have this next couple of weeks, and then we have the second round of vaccines to work through, and we've committed to helping if there's opportunities for some large scale pieces they want to do outside of their campus. We've committed to being able to help them with that down the road as well. But we can certainly put together a thank you note that we could get to them for sure. Or we could do it. We could also bring them in and do if we kids are coming back. I tell you, we're going to come back. So at some point we could actually bring them and instead of it just being a letter, but we could bring them to a board member and do a formal thank you to them that way as well.
Yeah, we could do both. I think that's a great suggestion there, Chris. We can bring them on and also give them, a thank you letter, on behalf of our board. I think that would be a small gesture from us to them, from what they
Madam
have
Chair,
done.
can we
and what
continue
are-
this discussion offline?
We can take care of it.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
I reached out to the
I
person.
think this is very important. So I think just to take a little time to talk about this, I think it's critical because the amount of money that they use, the amount of resources and volunteers that have done the job, I think it's, it's unmeasurable of what they have done. So the time that we spend here is not quite justify what they did. So I just want to throw that in there.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you, Mr. Yang, and the man who brought it to us, I actually sent him something today from the board.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay.
I would just want to say one point of information. This is part, I'm pretty sure, of the Sacramento County Health Equity Playbook for communities. And they're working through the Sierra Health Foundation, and they receive millions of dollars to do outreach and coordination. So I think if somebody within our staff to research that and see if they were taking lead and instrumental. So not only that we should praise this hospital, but also the coordination through the Sierra Health Foundation. That I think I can't say for sure that they're planning this or they're instrumental, but I'm pretty sure they are.
Well, I'll ask Mr. Hoffman, we will definitely send out thank yous to the people who have helping us get our teachers vaccinated. We would greatly appreciate it, and our staff.
In fact, I plan to get my shots there.
All right.
I had a quick comment.
Of
I know
course.
there was some things that were brought up by Mr. Firstina, a lot of different various concerns. And I just look to, we're not alone in some of what's being revealed during this time. I know talking from a stance of CSBA, I helped at AEC with a lot of the other directors at large that represent the ethnic communities do a workshop on inequities revealed during COVID times and talking about best practices for school districts once we do examine the data and look at it closely and see the disparities amongst the groups. So again, I just want to continue with that focus, as we have these future discussions and next steps to circle back to some of these dialogues and what might be working in other districts or communities, having that shared here as well. And again, it can always be helpful. Again, we're not perfect. I say that as myself too. I'm not perfect. There's always room for improvement, but I feel like looking at best practices can help narrow solutions in the future.
All right.
I'm a lifetime learner.
Perfect. All right.
Student.
Good night. Thank you, everybody.
Take a vote to adjourn, please.
We don't do that.
What?
We've
Will you
never
please-
taken a vote to adjourn.
We don't vote to
Yeah,
adjourn.
before
No,
before
to
you
adjourn.
vote,
Would you raise your hand if you need to say anything else?
No, but I'm taking the same privilege of other board members when they speak up. I've been taking notes.
We don't vote for adjournment, Mr.
Okay.
You've been here longer than I
We
have,
don't
Timmy.
keep
We've
track.
never voted to adjourn.
The president does that.
Don't take me serious. I'm tired too.
Good night,
Thank
all.
you. I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 12:17 a.m. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you, everyone.